Welcome to YOLO Crypto, where we give you the latest news on cryptocurrency, NFTs, and blockchain. Today is January 28th, 2025. It is a Tuesday. I'm your host, Daniel Scott Jacobs. Now let's get started. So, I know yesterday, right, we had a kind of a Bitcoin crash due to the DeepSeek, blah, blah, blah. But we were back. So this morning we were back into the green, and then we took a turn into the red. It was a pretty big setback, as far as the days is concerned. And now we're back in the green. Let me refresh this so we have an exact point on where we're at. So Bitcoin's up 0.1%, basically nothing. Ethereum up 0.4%. Everything is pretty much flat on the day, which I'm fine with. I'm happy right now when I see Bitcoin above 100,000. 100,000 is a good stable marker, right? It's a big point in your head, right? When you think, okay, 100,000, that's a big number, right? We've waited a long time to get this far, and when I see it above 100,000, I'm happy with that. Then when it goes below 100, I'm like, okay, 95. Moving on. Okay, let's look at some top gainers and losers. Those are always fun. Let's see here. All right, now what I notice is like a lot of these, there's so many cryptocurrencies. I mean, you can make a cryptocurrency so easily on Ethereum, on Solana. I mean, it's just to make an ERC20. It's not complicated at all. Now, getting it listed and getting it advertised and getting people to buy it is different. Getting listed on exchanges, like it takes a lot to get listed on Coinbase, which would be like the covenant, cryptocurrency exchange, because it's regulated in the United States. That would be like the best thing. And as soon as your coin hits Coinbase, it's gonna skyrocket. Always big gains in that first day or first week. So a lot of these coins you're not going to recognize. I certainly don't. And you can see the number over here where they are located on CoinMarketCap. Sorry, not CoinMarketCap. CoinGecko. CoinMarketCap is a site very similar to this. Right now I'm using CoinGecko. So Space N, SN, is our top gainer. Now that's going to be up 644%. So if you put in $100, you'll get almost 700 right now, which is quite a bit. Next is Elon, AFD. Now I saw this as a big gainer yesterday. Was it yes? I think it was yesterday. When the market was down, it was still up quite a bit. So that's something to keep an eye on. But I mean, when these coins, like, this is exactly when you don't want to buy. I run into this situation all the time. I'll see a coin and be like, damn, that's up, 20, 30, 40, 50%. I'm not gonna buy. Right? Let's wait. If I have fundamental interest in that coin, or I think it has a meme coin that has some power or some community behind it. A lot of times I'll wait, and then you see this kind of thing happen. It goes up double the percentage it was yesterday. But that's the kind of thing that happens in crypto. So really recognizing these coins, or not even recognizing them, getting them as soon as they're listed on exchanges is one of the biggest things. I mean, if you had a trading AI algorithm or some way to know, like if you knew pre-hand, and people have gotten in trouble for this before. A Coinbase employee's brother actually got arrested for it or something like that a few years back. I remember it popped into my head just now. It's a type of insider trading, obviously, but if you were to know, like, the day before they get listed on Coinbase, like, boom, you jump into that coin, and you're gonna make a good percentage. What's good to know, and I actually don't know this, I'll remember this for a later video, but it's good to know what Coinbase's criteria is for getting coins listed. Main thing is they want time in the market, right? They want to make sure it's not going to be a rug pull play, or there's no kind of bullshit going on behind the scenes. Another one is the team that's behind them, right? Who are the developers? Who are the people that are the faces of this coin? Another one is market capitalization, right? They want to make sure there's a good amount of market cap involved in that. And lastly, trading volume, right? Coinbase makes its money on fees. So that they're not going to list a coin if no one's trading it. And then community hype would obviously be another factor that they're considering. But basically, those first four that I listed are the main things that's going to get them listed on Coinbase. Next, we have Liquid Launch, ticker symbol LIQD. Again, I don't own any of these. I don't know really anything about them, other than that they are doing good today. But if you note these down, it'd be interesting to see how they're doing tomorrow. When you see a coin, that's got like 3, 4, 5, 6 days in the green, and its market cap is something steady, then maybe you'd want to jot that one down and kind of wait to slip in there and get a position once it's had a pullback, 50% of the total gains it's done in that significant period. Now, top losers, my favorite part. Red Belly Network. Okay? Sounds like a redneck type of thing. RBNT is the ticker symbol. So it's got a low price. It's number 846 on CoinMarketCap, so it's very far down there. And it's down 40.8%. Next one is Venice Token, VVV. I like that ticker symbol. Sometimes just based on the name or based on the ticker symbol, if it's something that catches people's eye, that fact right there could be a reason that there's a big community behind it, just based on some nonsense like that. The ticker symbol, it's got a cool name, or relates or somehow resonates with people based on their their childhood or something like that. Those are things to kind of keep in mind. So if you're ever floating around and you're on an exchange that lists coins relatively early, like Gate.io might be one. That's one that I use. You're not supposed to use it in the U.S., but we find ways. That could be a good thing to look for. I was doing that before. I bought a coin called CoinPool. I kind of wish I held on to it because I saw I was doing some notable things a while ago. And I don't think I have any. I'll have to check. But just to point out, like, sometimes you can, just stupid things like that can make you money. Next we have KET, ticker symbol KET. That's down 29.2%. Okay, moving on. So DeepSeek, right? This is a big story, and the reason that cryptocurrency news, like a lot of YouTubers that do crypto are talking about this, is because it's rattled the whole market. Like you can't say, like, I've seen news things that said it crashed the market. It crashes 20% or more. Okay, so it didn't crash anything, but it did. Like, Nvidia stock was down 5.5%. Some other tech stocks were down, similar percentages. The Nasdaq was down 3% total for the day. So it did make, and crypto obviously went down yesterday. So it did make a big splash. What concerns me is that if you believe DeepSeek, it cost them fractions of what it cost ChatGPT to get developed and trained, is what they say. So that's scary to know, if you believe them. And the amount of time they did it in, some, they're talking about they use way less NVIDIA chips. I think like less than 100 as opposed to like the thousands that ChatGPT uses. But let's see what President Trump has to say about it. Let's watch this video.
The sudden rise of a Chinese startup called DeepSeek sent U.S. stocks tumbling Monday. The Nasdaq, which is tech-heavy, sank 3.1%, and the S&P 500 fell 1.5%. Now, DeepSeek created an artificial intelligence model in much less time and for much less money than U.S. companies have. Its AI assistant was Apple's most downloaded free app yesterday. President Trump even spoke about the breakthrough.
The release of DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call for our industries that we need to be laser focused on competing to win, because we have the greatest scientists in the world.
CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady joins us now for more on this. I hadn't heard of this before yesterday, Kelly. So why has DeepSeek gained so much popularity so quickly?
I'm right there with you, Earl, and I think a lot of investors and users were surprised by this. Look, so it's gained so much popularity because DeepSeek may have created a better and more energy efficient chatbot than anything that we've seen in the US. We know the technology is there. So tech analysts are saying this is nearly just as good as OpenAI's ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, but it can actually explain its reasoning and logic before it gives you the answer. And that if you believe DeepSeek, they were able to create this with just 2,000 chips versus tens of thousands of chips that US models use. So there's all of this excitement around this because this is something that people haven't necessarily seen before.
Yeah, and if you...
Okay, we're going to pause it right there. But as you can see, I can only imagine what OpenAI and developers at ChatGPT are thinking, because it almost like it came out of the blue. Like, I thought that the U.S. was winning this race, this AI race. Trump just started the Stargate program, $500 billion to AI development and training, and now this. I mean, it rattled the U.S. markets. I mean, that is noteworthy in itself. Okay, moving on. So, our next big article I want to talk about is Metaplanet plans to raise over $700 million to buy Bitcoin. What is Metaplanet? So, I hadn't heard of them before today. They're an institutional investor, or soon to be, but they are a VC firm. They're venture capitalists, and they like to invest in a lot of science-heavy projects that are going to propel mankind, right, that are going to be here for generations. So, that is the kind of thing that they're into. Let's see what we can go down here. So, A Japanese publicly traded company, Metaplanet, has announced to raise over 116 billion yen, around $745 million, to fund more Bitcoin purchases. On January 29th, the company issued 21 million shares of 0% discount moving strike warrants. Metaplanet plans to use these shares to raise the funds needed to increase its Bitcoin holdings. The company called it the largest capital raise in Asian equity markets for buying Bitcoin. Anything else you want to read here? Okay, the $745 million fundraising initiative marks just the first phase of Metaplanet's ambitious Bitcoin strategy. The company announced its goal to accumulate 10,000 Bitcoin by Q4 2025, which would cost over $1 billion at current prices. By Q4 2026, Metaplanet plans to increase its holdings to 21,000 Bitcoin, note that number, worth approximately $2.1 billion on current market values. So this is good news. It's a Japanese company, Asia, right? We get that. But it's an institutional investor, VC firm, that's going to buy Bitcoin. Anytime, regardless of what country they're in, if you own Bitcoin, you own cryptocurrency, you want the price to go up, any news like this is good news. Like, a lot of people, back to DeepSeek, are saying that it's bad for America. It might be bad for American AI companies, but it's good for a whole, and it's good for Bitcoin. Moving on here. Okay, Dogecoin. I love Dogecoin. So Bitwise files with SEC for spot Dogecoin ETF. Now, what spot means, if you don't know, spot is basically normal trading that you would do. Like when you buy Bitcoin with actual cash, you're not using any leverage, no derivatives. You're just buying with the money you have. That's a way to think of spot. So Bitwise has filed with SEC Securities and Exchange Commission to list an exchange-traded ETF tracking the price of popular meme coin Dogecoin. Now, Dogecoin, I wouldn't say it's listed number 8 on CoinGecko. I wouldn't say it was the first meme coin, but it was the first real one in terms of like community. The proposed Bitwise Dogecoin ETF would hold Dogecoin and closely track the meme coin's price movements, according to Bitwise January 28th S1 filing with the SEC. Bloomberg ETF and analyst James Seyffart noted on X that Bitwise filed to register a Dogecoin trust in Delaware on January 22nd. But this makes it official, what the SEC said. So I'm excited about this. I don't care if you hate Dogecoin, if you like Dogecoin. The reason I like it is because Elon Musk talks about it. As I said in the last video, if you watch that, he's chairing the Department of Government Efficiency, right? And I won't say ticker symbol. The acronym for that is the same as the ticker symbol for Dogecoin. It's DOGE, right? So that pokes fun at his interest in Dogecoin. So I think this is something to get excited about. What happens a lot of times, you see, like back when Bitcoin ETFs first started, you thought like this is back when Canada already had them, UK already had them. People thought it was going to make a big price movement. It usually doesn't. A lot of that volatility to the upside is already baked in, right? People know, like, the data is listed, it doesn't get big inflows because anybody who is trying to front run the ETF launch has already bought. And yes, money does flow into the ETF, but by that time you got traders who are taking profit, the ones who try to front run. So it kind of equals out. You get the growth in the long term, right? Because then you have people like my dad, for instance, right? He doesn't do much stock trading. He does hold some stocks, but he'd be like poking around and be like, oh, Bitcoin, right? I'm not gonna go and I'm not gonna open an account on Coinbase or on Gemini or on Binance. I'm not gonna buy a Ledger cold storage wallet, but I will buy the ETF, right? It's a couple clicks. He already has the account made. So that's when you start to see a lot of these inflows is later down the line. It's only going to build up said cryptocurrency. Next, so Ondo Finance is 185 million tokenized U.S. Treasury offering joins the XRP ledger. So what Ondo Finance does is they tokenize. What's the word they use? So I'll read this. The expansion allows institutional investors to mint and redeem OUSG tokens around the clock using RLUSD stablecoin. So OUSG, what's that stand for again? Ondo U.S. Government Treasuries. So what they do is they tokenize the treasuries. So basically, other countries can use them, and it runs 24/7. So we'll just note a couple quick points here. This might not seem by much, but it's good news. Anytime you have someone using blockchain, that simply backs Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin runs on blockchain. Blockchain is the said technology that's propelling us forward. That's the reason that all of this is possible. So anytime anybody is using blockchain, or using, even if they're not using the XRP coin, if they're using their ledger in their blockchain, that's big news. So Ondo Finance introduces its tokenized U.S. Treasury offering to the enterprise-focused XRP Ledger network. So they're letting these treasuries that they offer run on the XRP network, which again is 24/7. Tokenized treasuries are a booming asset class at the intersection of traditional finance and digital assets, allowing investors to park their on-chain cash to earn a yield and use them as collateral. So based on this news, Ondo's governance token, Ondo, jumped 4% following news. So this might be something to pay attention to. It only jumped 4%. Right, the stock, not the stock, but the cryptocurrency Ondo only jumped 4%. This might be something worth buying. If you see a 10% pullback in Ondo, that might be a time to jump in, because this is going to bring the cryptocurrency up over time. Right, once this, I think it's going to launch in 6 months. Let me see here. I read it somewhere. Oh well. Anyway, when it does launch, and it continues to work, right, that's going to bring up Ondo and XRP. So just something to pay attention to. Okay. Brad Garlinghouse. Now, I mentioned either in a short video, I think it was a short that I posted, that Brad Garlinghouse does not want a strategic Bitcoin reserve. I can't say he doesn't want it, but what he's advocating for is other cryptocurrencies into the reserve, right? Obviously, he wants XRP in there. Let's see what he has to say. I love XRP, but also the inventor of Strike also made a video about this, saying that he was spending millions to prevent a strategic Bitcoin reserve. I don't know if I'd say that, might be true, might not be true, but he definitely doesn't want. I feel like this. I feel like if there was an option, only strategic Bitcoin reserve or no reserve, he would choose no reserve, because it kind of solidifies and locks down Bitcoin as like the number one asset, and he's trying to have XRP steal some of that market share. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of crypto company Ripple Labs, supports the idea of U.S. digital asset reserve encompassing multiple tokens and not just Bitcoin or XRP. Notice how they said not just Bitcoin or XRP. It should just say not just Bitcoin. I own XRP, BTC, and ETH, among a handful of others. We live in a multi-chain world, and I've advocated for a level playing field instead of one token versus another. If a government digital asset reserve is created, I believe it should be respective of the industry, not just one token, whether it be BTC, XRP, or anything else. He's just saying that so that way, because if he gets Trump's ear, right, I think it's only going to be Bitcoin. Right, I just do, because Trump is not the one who's making the decision. I mean, if it was all Trump's call, he'd probably put Trump coin in there. But Trump has to listen to the people, right? We don't want all this nonsense in there. Like, I don't want Doge. I just want Bitcoin in there. Well, I mean, I'd be happy with anything, but Brad is simply saying, it's a multi-chain world. We're all equal. He doesn't give a shit about that. He wants XRP in there, obviously. Maybe he'll get it. Listen, I'm like him. I'm for equality among the chains, okay? But I think to start, it's most likely going to be just Bitcoin. Okay, next. Let me scroll up here. So, I don't know how to pronounce that. CBOE, CBO, BZX, files on behalf of firms for a spot Solana ETF in an attempt to get SEC sign-off. So there was past Solana ETFs that were trying to get passed. They were denied. But if you're going to have an Ethereum ETF, you should have a Solana ETF. I mean, especially where Ethereum is not really doing much in terms of gains these days. Sabo BZX Exchange Inc. filed a fresh set of filings for firms vying for a spot Solana exchange-traded fund. On the exchange on Tuesday posted 19B-4 filings for the Canary Solana Trust, Bitwise Solana ETF, 21 shares Core Solana ETF, and the VanEck Solana Trust. A 19B-4 filing is a document filed by exchanges on behalf of issuers, and once filed and after acknowledged from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission and when published on the Federal Register, starts the clock of the agency's approval process. So as you can see, applications for those were rejected last year. One potential issuer, whom asked to remain anonymous, said that all of them were pulled at the request of the SEC. So as you know, Trump is shaking up the SEC. So I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, I'll say now, you're going to see a lot more approvals of this stuff. I mean, if the cryptocurrency coin has traction, has been around for a few years, has a community behind it, has a company behind it, and has solid developers, and has people using the chain. The thing about Solana is people are building dApps on it. They have NFTs on it. So there's no reason why Solana should not have an ETF. Same thing with Dogecoin. Dogecoin to be a meme coin as it may be, but there's a community behind it. Elon Musk is behind it. That's another reason I think the ETF will get passed. But as I said, if you get a crypto coin that has some legs, make an ETF for it. It's only going to bring more. It's only going to bring more money into the stock market, right, and more eyes on crypto. Okay, next story. So the UK, right? As I mentioned in a different video, if Trump, I won't say if, when Trump makes a Bitcoin strategic reserve, other countries in the G20 are going to do it. South Africa, UK, Turkey, a lot of them are going to do this. Now, the UK already has some crypto. Similar to the US, they have crypto that they have seized from gangs. So let's see here. See, this is kind of hard to read. Okay, I'm going to start here. Now we learn that Rachel Reeves, the cash-strapped chancellor, is staring her own gift horse in the mouth. Quietly, the Treasury has amassed its own war chest of cryptocurrency. Expropriated from criminal gangs, it is now worth some $5 billion. As borrowing costs rise and cuts to public spending loom, this stash could be, in the words of one Bitcoin expert, an economic get-out-of-jail-free card. While such enthusiasm for blockchain assets is not always born out of reality, Miss Reeves may want to sell up while the market is hot. So, basically, UK's got crypto. They're thinking, should we hold? Should we sell? Obviously, they're not going to sell, right? Because you think about it, if people are going to follow America, we have the national reserve currency being the dollar. Right, that gives us so much power. It's not even funny. So people listen to us in terms of economic progress. So if you see Trump, right, in the United States government make a strategic Bitcoin reserve, the UK is going to want to do the same thing. And if they sell this stuff, they're just going to have to go on and buy it, and it's probably going to be higher, right? Because as soon as the strategic Bitcoin happens, people say adoption is here, like it's happening now, and I think it is. But once the government recognizes it, yes, they hold Bitcoin now, almost by default. But once they have a strategic Bitcoin reserve, it's gonna blow the fuck up. I'm telling you right now. Okay, last story here. I love Binance. I use Binance.us, just because the sketchiness involved with the VPN and trying to use the real Binance. I mean, sure, anybody could do it if they have the proper equipment, but I use Binance.us and I've never had an issue. Let me just say a couple things real quick. I've been locked out of my Binance.us account multiple times. I couldn't get past the two-factor authentication. I will say the way they verify that it's the real person using the account is very strategic and methodical, and it worked great. It takes a little time, not a couple days, but it does work, and it works great. So I think the customer service is great. The only thing about Binance.us is you can't link a bank account right now. You can still put money on. I'm sure this is hurting them big time. They're in their pockets. But you can't put money on, and you can't take dollar bills off. You can send crypto to the exchange. You can send crypto off the exchange, but there's no way to add crypto from your bank account in US dollars. But let's read this story real quick so we can get you guys out of here. So Paris, January 28th. French investigators said on Tuesday they had opened a judicial probe into money laundering, tax fraud, and other charges on Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, which said it denied the allegations. The Economic and Financial Crime Section of the Paris Public Prosecutor's Office, June Alco, said in a statement that the probe includes money laundering in connection with drug trafficking. I don't know how they came. I mean, we just let fucking Osbridge, whatever his name is, the Silk Road guy, out of jail, and they're trying to lock up CZ. The investigation is examining the period from 2019 to 2024 involving offenses committed in France, but also in European Union countries. So Binance fully denies the allegations and will vigorously fight any charges made against it. A spokesperson for Binance said in an email statements, saying the matter was several years old. Leave Binance alone. I love CZ. One thing I look at is when they have Forbes come up with the world's richest people. CZ's not on there. But who knows how much crypto that guy has. I mean, let's be real. The fees from Binance, I'm sure, are making him millions a day. So there we have it. I appreciate you guys watching. Listen, it's a new channel. I'm trying to get some subscribers. If you could hit the subscribe button, that would be great. If you could hit the like button, that would be great. If you could show me some skin, I'm just kidding. But seriously, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, which will be tomorrow evening. Thank you.